Right, hey guys, been a while, have been promising, but we're back on a video from Mudawara no Goofy, is that his name? Mugawara no Goofy, and we're going to be checking out more regularly now. These said titles of Arc of One Piece is hilarious. I did enjoy the first one. We're not doing them in order of release, we're doing them in order of the story, so chronological order. That's the term. So let's get into this. Let's check out Loguetown Hilarious. And this also works for a nice little catch-up, recap kind of thing throughout the whole series now. As you guys know, my memory's awful. And I'm old.
In the last video that we put out on the channel, I was explaining why every island in the East Blue is actually hilarious.
Oh, no,
and a lot of you were quick to point out I actually missed an island, which was the very last island that they went to in the East Blue. I didn't count this one for a couple reasons, but you're right, I should have went into it, and so that's what I'm here to do today. That's right, everybody, we are taking a look at the events of Loguetown, or Logtown. I don't know, it's the place where Goldie Roger was executed at the very beginning of the story. Now, this is an island that holds great significance in the One Piece world, but it's also a place where a lot of wacky stuff happens. And I am thrilled to first take a look at these events through the eyes of the former funniest person in the East Blue, Buggy D. Clown. So walk with me, alright? You are Buggy D. Clown, alright? You are supposed to be the funniest person in the East Blue, but then a crackhead showed up out of nowhere, beat you up, made you a head with 2 hands and 2 feet, and gum bazookaed you far away from your crew and anything that you recognize.
It's true.
When you come to, you don't really know what's going on, but you do know one thing. You gotta get revenge on this crackhead, alright? So you start building a makeshift raft to get off the deserted island you found yourself on, and you set off in the sea. Mind you, you are a devil fruit user, of course, so the sea is very dangerous to you. But also, apparently fish are very dangerous to you, because as soon as you set off onto the sea, these fish start trying to whoop your ass. For no reason, too. I don't know if these are piranhas or what's going on, but they are on Buggy's ass. And so eventually Buggy's raft gets destroyed and he's marooned.
That's interesting. Isn't those the, they're not actually manga chapters, but aren't they the manga, individual covers? Trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it is. It's the they're the covers for chapters. Yeah, which tell the story of how Buggy carried on
this island with no place to go.
Cool.
So Buggy's like, all right, well listen, I gotta figure something out. So Buggy starts running around trying to find some lunch until he comes across some baby birds. Ecstatic, Buggy's like, all right, I see some lunch. So Buggy starts chasing around these birds and he finally corners one. And right before he deals the finishing blow to make this bird his lunch, the daddy bird shows up and just starts whooping Buggy's ass. And this is when we're reminded that Buggy is just as much of a Looney Tunes character as Luffy is, because Buggy is running around trying to set up some Wile E. Coyote traps for the papa bird and the baby birds. He sets up a trap pit in the middle of the road, and the big ass bird, he walks by the pit and he's like, what the hell is this? I know he's not trying to catch me like this. So insulted, the bird sets off the trap on his own, but Buggy's not paying attention. So when he hears the trap goes off, he rushes out to try to go find his dinner, and right when he does that, the bird just smacks him against the wall, and that's when the papa bird just whoops his ass and he starts trying to eat him. And this looks pretty grim because there's no one here that can bail Buggy out of this situation, all right? He is about to get eaten by this giant bird, and he does get eaten for like a couple seconds until the bird realizes Buggy doesn't bathe. He spits Buggy out because he's so dirty and nasty, and Buggy gets launched toward another island. And so now, marooned on another deserted island, Buggy realizes that this island is filled with a lot of weird-ass animals. That's not all, though, because he realizes that it's also home to somebody else, a weird guy inside of a box. The guy in the box shoots Buggy in the back of his hat, and he's like, well, okay, you want to fight me? Let's do this. So the box person and Buggy as a head, 2 hands, and a pair of feet, they start engaging in Mortal Kombat. This whole time, the animals are just watching, crowding around. It's a spectacle. So Buggy and this box person are fighting, and the box guy actually looks like he's got the upper hand on Buggy, but before he delivers the finishing blow, Buggy ends up telling him that he is a pirate too. And so the box person's like, well, what a coincidence. I'm a pirate also. And just like that, these two bond. They have dinner that
Did we just become best friends?
that night and just get really drunk around a bonfire. I mean, even the animals get drunk, which, side note, I don't know how much alcohol animals can drink, but they get hammered. It's hilarious.
Nice.
Around the campfire with all these drunk-ass animals, this is when Buggy tells the box person that the 2 things he loves most in this world is treasure and alcohol. And the box person's like, well, a man after my own heart. How do you do? Come on, have some more drink, you crazy bastard. So the box person tells Buggy that he's been on this island for 20 years, and empathizing with the situation, Buggy says, you might as well just join my crew. But the box person declines. He says these animals on this island, these drunk-ass alcoholic animals, they are his family now, so we can't just leave them behind. Buggy accepts his decision decision, and the two drink the night away until the next day. And the next day, Buggy, the box person, and all the hungover animals that were at the bonfire
Wow, they are hungover. That's hilarious. Oh my god.
last night, they all help Buggy fix his raft so that he can leave the island. A very emotional goodbye ensues. I mean, they've got tears in their eyes. These two really became best friends in just the shortest amount of time, but Buggy knows that he needs to leave the island. Which is why it's hilarious that immediately after Buggy sets up, like, I'm serious, like, he's still like 5 feet away from the shore. The second his raft goes off into the sea, a giant crab shows up and starts trying to murder Buggy right there. And Buggy's adventure again almost comes to an end right there.
What an adventure, man. And these are just the cover like stories, aren't they? It's so cool that they did that. It's a shame they didn't animate, or maybe they did. I doubt they did though. You know the guy, what was his name from Skypiea? They did the whole cover thing where he went to the moon and activated all those moon people things, and that, like, they never.
This is like the third time that nature and the elements have outright almost killed him. But right before this giant crab does the deed and finishes Buggy off, a very attractive pirate, watching from the sidelines, finishes off the crab and saves Buggy. Now,
And this is Elvira, isn't it?
imagine how Buggy feels. He has almost been killed like at least 3 times at this point, and then this goddess just pulls
Is
up
that
to him
name
and he's like,
Elvira?
hey, are you looking for that rubbery crackhead? I myself am also looking for him. How about we team up? So Buggy's like, sure. So Buggy says the first thing they should do is find his crew so that they can all regroup. So now they both start looking for Buggy's crew. And when they pull up on the island that they're on, Buggy sees that these idiots are all having a funeral for him. They're all crying, talking about how Buggy was supposed to lead them to do great things. They're saying all this nice stuff. And then out of nowhere,
Buggy,
Buggy's
no.
number 2 and his number 3 spots, they start saying, you know what? I think I should be the leader.
Of course. In fighting, I shall be the new ruler. Starscream, just straight away as soon as Megatron's like, God.
And they start getting into a fight. And I'm not talking about like a trivial, like, all right, let's just settle this really quick. This lasts for like the entire day. Buggy is watching these two idiots have a Dragon Ball Z fight for their Saiyan pride over which one of them gets to be the leader of his crew. Fight lasts for a long time, but then out of nowhere, a bunch of cannibals show up and they start trying to eat all the Buggy pirates.
Oh
Which is
my
just
God.
a wild development, by the way. We went from these idiots trying to figure out which one of them was going to be king of the idiots. We cut from that to a bunch of natives on this island that eat people, crashing the party, putting all of these clown people in a big ass bowl so they can turn them into clown soup. So until now, Buggy was having a good time watching this, and he was like, you know, I can't watch my crew
Gotta
get eaten by
intervene.
these people. I gotta do something. So Buggy steps in like the messiah that he is, and I mean, imagine what it's like to be the Buggy Pirates, all right? You have had a very confusing couple of days. You and your crew were minding your own business doing pirate stuff until a crackhead showed up and beat up everybody. And to your knowledge, your captain has lost his life, so when you try to hold a funeral and resolve who will take the reins as the next leader of the Buggy Pirates, suddenly cannibals show up and start trying to turn everybody into soup. Like, funerals suck already, but can you imagine going to a funeral and then realizing, oh, I guess I'm about to be soup? And also, I'm sorry, I gotta talk about these cannibals. Why would you just met these dirty clown people. Why would you boil them all inside a giant witch cauldron and try to cook them all into one disgusting and sweaty soup? You know they don't bathe. There's a lion in there too. They don't care. They don't care about how anything tastes. These guys are just comical
They just want the
cannibals. I'm
food.
convinced they don't care about the
Comical
taste of anything.
cannibals.
They're just trying to eat some people. So anyway, Buggy has been through a lot, but now he has finally managed to reunite with his crew. He puts all of his body parts back where they should be as well, and now the Buggy Pirates are off to settle the score with that lunatic that gave his whole crew a beating back in Orangetown.
He's back. The man is back.
So now everybody's headed to Loguetown, or Logtown. Again, I really don't know how to pronounce it. But anyway, everybody's heading there. So now I think it's important that we switch perspectives to the other funniest perspective in this arc. And that is going to be our favorite cop buddy, Smoker. Now, here's the deal, okay? Just walk with me for a
Yes.
second. You are Smoker, all right? You are a by-the-books Marine cop. You are stationed in Loguetown to beat up and arrest every pirate that you come across. And damn it, you are good at your job. So when you hear about this new up-and-comer rookie pirate that somehow managed to amass the highest bounty in the East Blue in a little over like 3 days, it piques your curiosity. Now you see, you also have intel that this same guy is headed to Loguetown as well. So Smoker doesn't sweat it. He starts doing his patrol around Loguetown and beating up any pirates that he comes across. And he thinks that if he runs into the Straw Hat guy, he'll just arrest him as soon as he sees him. So while Smoker is beating up all of these pirates, you can imagine his confusion when a lunatic appears out of nowhere.
Hey, isn't this weird as well that, like, this is what season 2 of One Piece is going to be. Ooh, the timing. Ooh.
asking for directions to the execution platform that
The live action version looks quite good. I'm excited.
Roger lost his life on. And so Smoker sees this wacky guy, like a cartoon, come to life, and he's like, all right, you know, you're a weird guy, but I know where the execution platform is. It's that way. So the crazy kid thanks Smoker, and he makes his way to the execution platform. A little while later, while Smoker is having a drink, he realizes that that crazy person he just met in that alley, that's actually Straw Hat Luffy. So Smoker's like, oh, hell no, not in my city. He rushes to the execution platform to arrest this guy. And when he gets there, he sees Luffy just climbing all over the execution platform. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but just come down, all right? You're under arrest. And that's when this lunatic is like, shut up, dummy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. And this is when Smoker starts to lose it a little bit, all right? He starts getting a little bit angry because just because he's a Marine doesn't mean he also doesn't have a tremendous amount of respect for Goldie Roger. So this crazy guy saying he's gonna become king of the pirates, so that doesn't sit well with him at all. And I mean, this would infuriate anybody. Put yourself in Smoker's shoes. So you beat up this little lunatic and send his ass flying. Like, really, you just knocked this little bastard all the way across town. And while this is happening, Buggy and his crew have made it to Loguetown, and they are getting drunk in one of the bars in the city. So when they look up and see a crackhead just flying through the sky, they realize that unless that's some other magical flying crackhead, they need to get after that guy because that's who they're looking for.
Vengeance.
So Buggy and his crew take off in the direction that they saw Luffy flying towards, and Smoker realizes, all right, he's looking for the execution platform for some reason. He says he's going to be king of the pirates. I bet he's going to return right here. So for now, Smoker's taking it easy. He kicks his feet up, he starts reading a newspaper and talking to a sniper called Daddy, and waits until he gets word of that lunatic coming back to the execution platform. A little while later, Buggy is frustrated because despite having seen the crackhead flying through the sky, he still hasn't found him yet. So Buggy and his entire crew are eating at this restaurant, and I kid you not, they are like 5 feet away from Luffy. Like the crackhead they're looking for, he is right behind them in this restaurant. Buggy doesn't even realize it. He's throwing a full-on temper tantrum in this restaurant like, I'm the funniest person in this show. I shouldn't be upstaged by that bouncy crackhead. And while Buggy's banging his hands on his table, he managed to fling all of his money at the crackhead. And of course, this crazy-ass crackhead was delighted when Buggy decided to give him some money. So he walks over to Buggy's table and is like, thanks, dude. Buggy is so blinded by rage, he lets that entire interaction happen. He fully has a conversation with this crackhead as he thanks him for the money, and the crackhead just walks out of the restaurant. And so that's when Buggy turns around like, wait a minute, who the hell was that? And his crew member's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that was that Straw Hat guy. And Buggy is furious. Buggy's like, you motherfucker, we have been looking for him for so
What do you mean? Let's go get him, you fool!
long we had to take a lunch break. Let's go get him, damn it. So the Buggy Pirates take off after Luffy as he makes his way to the execution platform. And as soon as Luffy gets there, he again just starts jumping all over the execution platform, turns it into his own personal jungle gym. It's so bad and blatantly disrespectful, one of the cops in the area pulls out his megaphone and he's like, crackhead, please stop climbing all over the history of this island.
Please.
Don't appreciate it. But while the policeman is begging this crackhead to please stop messing around, the pretty woman that's been helping Buggy this whole time, she arrives and just knocks the cop out. And this is when she reveals that her name is Alvita, the pirate that actually held Kobe hostage at the beginning of the first episode. And while Alvita has everybody distracted, Buggy arrives and springs a trap that actually manages to catch Captain Crackhead. So now Luffy is caught in the very same place that Goldie Roger was executed.
My goodness. Symbolism? Maybe? No.
And Buggy intends to finish Luffy off in much the same way in front of all of these people. So a little while before this, Smoker realized that all these dangerous criminals were gathering in the main plaza and that he should mobilize a marine force to go there as well. But now at this time...
Yeah, it's like, maybe I should have done something about this, or maybe I should do something now, or... Maybe I'm not doing my job very well for all these pirates to be in the same place that I am and not have a clue.
He's watching this and he admittedly feels a little bit disappointed. You know, ever since he saw this little weirdo, he thought that there was something special about him. And then when he said that he was going to be king of the pirates, though he didn't believe him and he thought he was just being a cheeky little brat, that was still a pretty gutsy thing to say. But now he's about to be murdered by a clown person this early in his journey in front of all these people. So Smoker decides that he's not going to get involved until this Straw Hat guy is taken care of. After all, this is just two pirates settling a disagreement. Why should he get involved before he has to? So Smoker's not getting involved, so the only people on the plaza are Buggy, his crew, and Luffy, who is on the execution platform. Now put yourself in Buggy's shoes, alright? You have finally caught the guy that has been making your life a living hell for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
You are seconds away from securing your vengeance and making all of the bullshit you went through worth it. And so you go to deliver the finishing blow, but right before you do, lightning comes out of nowhere. There's a storm that was above the sky. It wasn't even raining before now, but lightning lightning shows up out of nowhere, strikes you directly, destroys the platform, and frees the lunatic that you were about to execute. And this goofy bastard just brushes it off like, whoa, that was lucky, all right. Right before Luffy was executed too, he smiled like, well, sorry, guess I'm dead. And I think this is the moment that Smoker realized, oh, this guy's dangerous.
Yeah, there's something going on
Like,
here.
Smoker is a seasoned Marine cop. He knows the difference between fake crazy and real crazy. So when he looked at this lunatic, stared death in the face and go, hee hee, guess that's it for me, guys. He knew that this guy, if we let this guy cook, he's gonna destroy everything with a smile on his face. No, we gotta stop this guy. And by the execution platform, Buggy comes to like, I don't know what that was,
Yeah,
but
that was
I'm
crazy.
still alive. I guess that's good. So Buggy does some more Looney Tune shenanigans. He says, chop chop Mario Kart. He grows a rocket out of his butt and tells his girl, come on, they sliding. So she starts sliding after him. So they're taking off. They don't get very far because Smoker is focused on the crackhead, but he's like, listen, we gotta catch these idiots first, okay? They deploy some sea stone prism nets. They catch all of those lunatics in a very anticlimactic manner, and just imagine how Buggy feels. He got beat up by a crackhead. He almost got eaten by a bird. He met a really cool box person and then got his heart broken when he wouldn't join his crew. All of that to almost get his vengeance and then have God himself intervene.
This is what it would look like, wouldn't it? It's like, I'm finally here. Then it's like, okay,
And now the Marines are like, okay, listen, we're going to catch that guy, but you are definitely also going to jail. So Buggy's tied up and out of the fight for now. Smoker gets on his motorcycle and he's like, again, I'm stopping that guy. So Smoker rides off until he finally manages to catch up to Luffy. And this is when they fight a little bit more. And Smoker at this point, I feel like he feels validated for having thought that Luffy was special or that there was something special about him. But he still thinks that most of that is probably misplaced. You know, that was probably luck. There is a storm that's here. You know, maybe lightning just decided to strike there. You know, he doesn't know. But he knows for damn sure he's not about to let this pirate get away and just start causing more trouble with smiles on his face, all right? That can't happen. So he's going to stop Luffy right here and right now. And at this point in the story, Luffy is no match for Smoker, okay? So Smoker beats up Luffy a little bit and he's about to capture him. But right before Smoker deals the finishing blow, someone stops him. And when Smoker looks over his shoulder to see who is stopping him from bringing justice to this crackhead, he sees that it is none other than the most wanted man in the world,
Dragon. Like, that's so cool.
Monkey D. Dragon. Smoker looks dragon in his eyes, and I really think this is one of the most underappreciated moments in One Piece. Keep in mind, Smoker, no one in the entire East Blue or in the One Piece world has heard of Monkey D. Luffy before his bounty picture got released, right? Which means that no one had the time to connect the dots between Monkey D. Luffy and Monkey D. Dragon.
Yeah.
So when Smoker makes eye contact with Monkey D. Dragon, Smoker looks back down at Monkey D. Luffy, and then up again at Monkey D. Dragon, and he's like, oh, like for Smoker, this went from a regular call to apprehend a dangerous lunatic causing trouble wherever he goes and turned into one of the biggest conspiracy theories that he's ever come across.
It's literally in seconds. You would just be like, alright, I'm capturing this kid, taking him in. Holy fuck.
And it's not even really a theory. Like, in the last 5 minutes, Smoker watched as this crackhead was saved by both God and nepotism in like a 4 or 5 minute span between those events. And suddenly this gust of wind comes out of nowhere, knocking everybody out of their restraints. Buggy's crew is actually free as well. And the crackhead and his friends go free, they board their ship, and they take off into the night. Smoker's watching all this happening from the shore like, wait a minute.
Like, what the?
Monkey D. Luffy, Monkey D. Isn't there a Monkey D in the Marines too? Holy shit, Monkey D. Is that his? What is going on? Smoker has no idea what's going on, but again, I feel like we need to realize that he might be the first person to realize that Luffy is going to be a much bigger problem for everybody.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was their chance. Smoker had the opportunity to stop one of the craziest pirates that would ever set sail on the Grand Line. He could have stopped him right here and right now. But God and nepotism had other plans. And so, yeah, Smoker was probably the first person to put these dots together. And this is also probably around the same time that he realized that if anybody was going to stop that lunatic, it was going to be him. And I know that Smoker runs into Luffy again in Alabasta. I should probably do a video on that too. In my headcanon, the next time they meet after that is back in Punk Hazard, where the roles are just completely reversed and Smoker's just thinking like, what is going on the whole time. But for now, this chapter in the story comes to an end with Smoker staring from the shoreline, watching as a crew of lunatics sail off toward the Grand Line. So that's it for this one, guys. You were right. Loguetown is hilarious. I should have included it in East Blue is hilarious. Very glad you guys held me accountable for that. I should probably also get to some filler episodes as well. Let me know if you agree that Loguetown is hilarious, or if you thought that there was another perspective that would have made this town even more hilarious. And also, if you like talking about One Piece and are caught up with the manga, consider checking out the Discord. The link to that will be in the description. My friends worked really hard on that, and I'm very pleased with how it came out. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being interested, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.
Awesome. Love it. Very cool. Very fun. It's a funny way to recap by taking perspectives of certain people and then like realizing how hilarious it is. Like, it's funny that like Smoker is the first person to kind of connect the dots and go, wait a minute, what's going on here? But yeah, this boss. I promise to check them out, and I'll be checking the rest out more regular. We'll do the story arcs, and then who knows? So strange because I've literally just done our DC World sketch for One Piece. I've done why Kuma changed, what changes were made to Kuma, and then I've got another Grand Line review video I want to check out like in the next couple of days. So odd, but yeah. Thanks very much for watching.